There was a point where I was in India with 30 or so other people. And over time, I got to hate all of them because I wanted to be with Maharaji, and they were all taking up his time. And I saw that they were very adharmic, and I couldn't stand them. I really loathed all of them. Maharaji kept calling me up each day, many times, and he'd say, Ram Dass, love everyone. I'd say, yes, Maharaj. Then he'd say, Jao, go away. Then he'd call me up a few minutes later. He'd say, Ram Dass, tell the truth. Because he always kept catching me at lies, social lies. And hour after hour, I'd get called up, tell the truth, love everyone. Until finally, the juxtaposition of these two things came together, and I thought, well, the truth is I don't love everyone. Now what am I going to do? He says, tell the truth and love everyone. And what I usually do is I make believe I love everyone. I surrender the truth a little bit. Oh, hello, well, I'm really hating your guts. Why don't I do it the other way for a change? So I'll grow a little bit. So I'll tell the truth. So I started to tell everybody how much I hated them all. I said, Maharaji, I can't stand any of those people. I hate them all. And I hate me. I hate everybody but you. He says, you love me? I said, yes, I love you. And I started to sob. I mean, the tension just released. When I could tell him I loved him, and I just loved him so much. And tears started to stream down his face. Then he looked at me and he said, I told you to love everyone. I said, yeah, but you told me to tell the truth. And the truth is I don't love everyone. And he come up to me nose to nose and eyeball to eyeball. He says, Ram Dass, love everyone and tell the truth. What I saw in front of me was a coffin. And in the coffin was who I thought I was. I'm somebody who, the truth is, I don't love everyone. Saw him saying, when you get finished being who you think you are, who you will be is someone who loves everyone, and that's the truth. You will rest in truth, which is love, where everyone is. As long as you're busy being somebody separate, you're going to love that one and not love that one because you're going to be caught in your discriminating mind. Third Chinese patriarch says, the great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. But make the slightest distinction, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. And I looked over at all these people I hated. And at that moment, my heart was so open. And I saw that behind what I hated in each of them, I loved them all incredibly. And here were these beautiful beings. They were trying for the light. They were reaching. They were these incredible souls. I saw the innocence of each of them behind the guile. And then I saw that between me and that expression of that love, in the courtyard, I saw this huge mountain. And the only word for the mountain was pride. Because Maharaji didn't say, work it out with them. He said, love them. He didn't say, save face. He just said, love them. So then he sent me across the courtyard to eat. And then he called all of them over. And he said, go touch Ram Dass's feet. He's a great saint. So they all came over and touched my feet one at a time, and I hated them even more. I mean, that reawakened the hatred, of all of them, because I knew they were hating me and they weren't really doing it, and, all that stuff. So I saw my predicament, and I just thought, well, I really ought to make at least an effort. I'll try. It's just, my guru said it. Why don't I do it? So I had some apples that he had thrown at me, and I cut them up into little pieces, and I decided to feed each person a piece of apple. But I knew, because I had been trained as a yogi, that to feed somebody with anger in your heart is like giving them poison. And I cut up the apple, and I went to feed it to each person, and I would look at each person, and I would feel the anger and the reason for my anger, which was righteous. Of course, I was right, always. We all are, aren't you? And I could see where I love them, and I just would sit with that whole thing until I would just let go of the hold of that anger without working it out, without trying to save face, without getting them to give a little and me to give a little so we all end up, I just gave up. I just loved them.